So the one thing that I have figured out watching Stargirl's pilot premiere is that Starman in no uncertain way was going to give his powers to Pat Dugan. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach to Nerd, and in this episode we are reviewing the series premiere of the CW show Stargirl, which I think it used to be a Disney first, so I don't know, that's very interesting. Stargirl is definitely a different tone than some of the other Arrowverse shows. It's a little lighter. It's a younger audience, really. Courtney is being played during the teen high school years of Courtney. Like, I believe they're going by the Stars and Stripes comics, so she was, pretty much young. I love how Britt plays Courtney. She is very believable as not only a young girl who misses her father, but who's also upset that her mother has remarried and that her entire life is being uprooted in Los Angeles to as far as she's concerned, a boony backwater town in Blue Valley, Nebraska. Very, very believable. I love Luke Wilson as Pat. I think he's hysterical. The moment with him and Sylvester Pemberton or Starman, where he's basically, Sylvester's dying and he's like, you've got to find someone to give the powers to, the next generation, but not you. Like, not you. No matter what, let me reiterate this a few times as I'm dying, not you. That was hilarious. I love Amy Smart as Barbara. I think that, she actually kind of favors Britt a little bit. So they really look believable as mother and daughter. So casting wise, I'm really liking it. I'm digging it. I love the opening fight that we got to see between the Justice Society of America and the Injustice Society. I thought that was very cool. We got to see Icicle, Brainwave, Dragon King. We even have a CG version of Solomon Grundy running around, like who was chasing the car. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, we don't get to see Jay Garrick, but we do get like a little tiny flash of his helmet on the ground, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, it was pretty cool. The fight was, I could see they put a lot of CG and a lot of budget behind the cosmic staff, because when Sylvester was kind of wielding it, it looked really cool. So I really, really dug the fight between them. I would have I mean, reading the comics, I know what's going on, but I would love to have had more context on why they were fighting per se. But it is what it is. I mean, it served its purpose. It was eye candy. I'm not hating on it. So I love some of the characters that we get to see that we know are going to be big deals later. One of the obscure ones for me was Cindy Berman. If you blinked, you missed her, but she was in the cafeteria scene. So there's a scene where, it's Courtney's first day of school, and she gets sent to the singles table, where basically she is told by Beth Chappell, who will later be Dr. Midnight, that it's the losers table. It's basically people that don't have any friends, that nobody wants to sit with them. And you have Rick Tyler, who's going to be Our Man, and you have Yolanda Montez, who of course is going to be Wildcat. So they're all at the table, and then she gets into it with Brainwave's son, Henry King Jr. Like, he tries to grab her phone and she pushes him, and he hits the cafeteria lady, and of course she gets taken by, I'm assuming, the vice principal or a teacher or whatever, to the office. But as she's leaving, she passes Cindy Berman. If you don't know who that is, that's actually Dragon King's daughter. She also is a villain named Shiv, and in the comics she was one of the biggest rivals, that especially of the high school years that Courtney had. So she basically is the next Dragon King. So I thought that was really cool that we got to see that. I love Courtney's interaction with the staff. I loved how the staff had attitude. It was like, the way it was communicating, like, we're going to do this, you're going to do this, so this is your fault. Like, I thought that was really, really neat how they incorporated that. I think that the actress Britt, and I didn't look this up, I think she's a gymnast, so her gymnast and athletic skills definitely show a lot in this series. Like, she was really doing some of the vault work and stuff that you would normally see in gymnastic competition. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm really digging this premiere. It wasn't slow. I loved all the side characters. One thing though I thought was interesting was they focused on her father a little bit more, Sam Curtis, because if you read the comic books, And actually, I did a review on Stargirl too for Blurred Without Fear. I'll post the link down below. Please check it out. It's kind of like her bio, which would probably help a lot if you're watching this series for the first time and you've never read the comic books with her, or Stars and Stripes, or Stars and Stripe. But Sam Curtis is basically a low-ranking criminal in Gotham in this gang called the Royal Flush Gang. Royal Flush Gang. And in the comics, and there's always two versions, because when they did the New 52, they kind of changed things a little bit. But in his, like, one of his original storylines, he and, Courtney's mother were married, and they lived in Gotham, and he was very, very abusive to her. So when she had Courtney, she pretty much ran away. I don't know if they're going to keep that in, because there is like a scene at the beginning of Stargirl where she's waiting with a Christmas present for her dad, for him to show up. And that, the mother said, well, your father, visited us like once a year, and pretty much he was a deadbeat. He kind of abandoned us. So I don't know if they're keeping that exact story, because I'm pretty sure that Barbara actually took her daughter and ran from him. And then she met Pat Dugan, and they got married. So yeah, a little bit different there, because they were actually in LA in the story. But I don't know. We'll see. I just think it's interesting if they keep him in the Royal Flush Gang, because, in Courtney's mind, her father's like this great heroic person. She even thought that Starman was her dad in the series, in the premiere, until, Pat's like, no, it's Sylvester Pemberton is Starman, and you're not Sam Curtis. They're not the same person. I think it will be very interesting plot-wise to see how devastated Courtney becomes when she realizes that her dad is a criminal, especially when she's on this path of forming the Justice Society of America, the new generation, and becoming a hero, So that would be an interesting, kind of side story for that to come out. But yeah, I'm excited. There are going to be a lot of interesting characters and villains. I would like to see, and this is just me speculating, her slowly building up to forming these individual bonds. I hope it's not going to be like, the Scooby-Doo team, overnight. By episode 3, everyone's on board. I would like to see, definite character development. Because, where it stands, just from the table alone, I mean, you had Yolanda being called a slut by, Henry King Jr., and Rick basically walking off and kind of kleptoing some stuff in the cafeteria, and Beth pretty much calling them all losers. So they're not friends. They don't have a reason to hang out. They just sit at the same table because there's nowhere else to sit. So I would love to see that, how they build that bond. I don't want it to be unnatural, oh, we're all gonna be heroes, yada yada. I think it would be interesting to see how they pull that off. But yeah, overall, I'm really loving this. And honestly, the other cool thing that stood out for me, probably the last thing that I want to mention is Stripe. I was pretty impressed that they had, it's CG, but it actually didn't look that bad. I thought it was going to look a lot cheesier than it looked when you see Pat roll up in Stripe, and it looks really, really cool. So yeah, I am down for it. I'm excited for the next episode, so I definitely will be reviewing it. This was kind of like my trial to see if I wanted to review this show, because I don't do a lot of CW shows. I have done Batwoman. It's not that I don't love CW shows. I'm a big Black Lightning fan. It's just that some of the writing, for me, even starting with Arrow after season 2, sometimes it gets a little weird. And so I don't like to dive into the plots. But I have been keeping up with them. I have watched the season finale of The Flash. I have not made a video about The Flash. I don't know if I ever will. We'll see. But the tie-ins and the stories and the writing, sometimes it gets to be a little much and all over the place. So it's hard for me to keep up, and yeah, sometimes I just don't want to talk about it. But I don't foresee that happening with this series. This series looks like it's pretty good out the box, and I'm really hoping that the writing continues and it's going to be awesome. It's definitely a different feel from Arrowverse, but again, most of them are on Prime Earth now, and I think she's on Earth 2, so she's kind of in between, where I guess the Titans would be and Prime Earth. So we'll see. Doesn't mean they won't do crossovers, though. We know that they probably will, they will. Of course they will. But I want to know what you guys think of this show. If you checked it out, did you like it? What do you think about Britt playing Courtney and Stargirl? Do you like her as Stargirl? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next on the Nerd Bell, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.